saw him in the hallways. I was a freshman when he was a senior. So I guess it hit harder when you're in OBJ and you saw him.
This is just another thing that we cannot take for granted. Freedom is not free, and unfortunately, David Espinoza paid the ultimate sacrifice.
Like they say, from the halls of Montezuma to Tripoli, the Marines are always there, and he was a Marine, and he gave his life for his country, and you can't be any prouder than that.
World event struck home in late August of 2021 when one of our own made the ultimate sacrifice as one of the last casualties of the war in Afghanistan. Marine Lance Corporal David Lee Espinoza grew up in Rio Bravo near Laredo and attended United ISD schools all his life. He felt the call to serve in the military since he was a boy and decided he would join the Marine Corps after graduating from high school. His stepfather, who raised David as his real son, gave him all the love and support he could give.
When he was a junior in high school, that's when he started thinking more of going into the Marines. And one thing she's always mentioned, and it's so true, is when he finally decided he was going to enlist and he was going to join them, we couldn't be against it, and saying, no, we don't want you to be a Marine, because he was going to do it. So in a way, it was like she's always said, so we wouldn't lose his son or lose, because he was going to do it. So we went in with him with his full support.
David Lee Espinoza attended Lyndon B. Johnson High School. Mr. David Tijerina was his environmental science teacher during his senior year.
He was very quiet, very studious, always did his work, and was always respectful. He got to class earlier and he would leave a little bit late. He always turned his assignments in on time. He was a great student. He's any teacher's idea of the ideal student. He would always talk about his dream of becoming a Marine, and he was very proud. That's the one thing he would always talk about, is joining the Marines, serving his country, and fighting for freedom.
Upon graduating from Johnson High School with the class of 2019, he enlisted in the United States Marine Corps to fulfill his dream of serving his country. Rio Bravo City Commissioner Amanda Aguero is a friend of David's family who remembers how he faced the challenges of Marine boot camp.
Before he graduated, he got hurt, and he was upset because they didn't let him continue. The doctor said, you can't go through the, I think it was like one last step before he would become a Marine, like in December or something like that. He was upset and he wanted to speak to, and he called the mom. He's like, why don't they let me? I'll do it how I am, hurt. And he said, but you can't. The doctor says you can, but I can do it. But I can do it like that. I can do that last step. And it was like a midterm type of test, obstacle course type of thing. He's like, I can do it, and then I can hurt later. And I'll hurt and I'll cry later. Right now, I don't have time. I have to get this done because I'm going to be a Marine.
Naturally, David's mother was ever proud of the man that he became.
We were always so proud of him, always. Everything he did, everything. Even his graduation from high school, everything, we've been so proud of him. When he graduated from the Marines, he shined like a penny, and we were so proud of him. Everything, he always made us proud.
In August, his unit was deployed to Kabul, Afghanistan to assist in the mass airlift to evacuate United States citizens and Afghan civilians from the war-torn country at Karzai International Airport. On August 26th, as he and his fellow service members were performing their duties, the unthinkable happened. Terrorists attacked, detonating a suicide bomb. Lance Corporal Espinoza, 10 of his fellow Marines, a Navy corpsman, and an Army staff sergeant were killed, along with at least 90 Afghan civilians. While the world knew immediately about the attack and the lives it took, it wasn't until the next day that Laredo, Webb County, and United ISD learned that Lance Corporal David Espinoza, our former student, was killed in the closing days of a war that began when he was but an infant. As soon as the citizens of Webb County knew about his death, vigils and ceremonies were organized to honor him and the 12 other service members who were killed. Area veterans gathered with Lyndon B. Johnson High School students and teachers at Laredo College for a ceremony. David Espinoza's family was there as their son was honored for his service and sacrifice for our country's values and those who could not defend themselves. Many people from the community joined the event as community leaders spoke, paying their respects to Lance Corporal Espinoza, his family, and all the service members who perished. The United Independent School District Board of Trustees recognized Lance Corporal Espinoza at a regular board meeting where Board President Ramiro Vélez presented his family with a plaque honoring their son for his heroism and sacrifice. Another memorial was held at United High School, led by the campus's Air Force Junior ROTC, under the direction of retired Air Force Major Jose Loya.
We are about ready to honor the fallen heroes that died in Afghanistan as they were saving lives. This is our way of showing respect and honor to those heroes that were killed in Afghanistan, all 13 of them, and especially our Laredoan, Mr. David, Marine Lance Corporal David Espinoza. I just want to give the family my deepest condolences, my heartfelt condolences, and extended from the entire United ROTC community. This is our way of showing our respect and to honor your son and those that died with him.
As per American military tradition, the cadets conducted a solemn memorial ceremony. United High School Principal Jessica Salazar had a message for Lance Corporal Espinoza's family.
On behalf of United High School faculty, staff, and students, we just want to tell you that we are very sorry for your loss and that we want you to know that we are very proud and honored to have had your son be part of this event this morning in spirit. And thank you all for being here this morning. We do appreciate it. We wanted to honor him more than anything because he is a UISD student or was a UISD student, and he served our country.
United ISD elementary schools also paid respect to Lance Corporal Espinoza during their Patriots Day observations. At Colonel Santos Benavides Elementary, students wore red, white, and blue and waved American flags in honor of those who lost their lives on September 11, 2001, and David Espinoza, who sacrificed his own life almost 20 years later to the day. On September 10, 2021, Lance Corporal Espinoza's remains arrived back home in Laredo. People from all over the city lined McPherson Road to show their support for his family. Veterans and junior ROTC students rendered salute as the motorcade passed on its way to the funeral home where Lance Corporal Espinoza would lie in state through the weekend. On Monday, September 12th, a mass was held at St. Patrick's Catholic Church for the repose of the soul of Lance Corporal David Lee Espinoza. A Marine Corps honor guard carried the coffin containing the Lance Corporal's remains into the church, where a host of clergymen awaited. The Most Reverend James Tamayo, Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Laredo, presided over the funeral mass. Afterwards, the funeral procession drove down Loop 20, accompanied by an entire motorcade of police officers and community supporters. Employees of the United ISD Child Nutrition Center stood waving American flags to show their support to the family of Lance Corporal Espinoza. The motorcade arrived at Lyndon B. Johnson High School, where the campus had prepared to bid him one last goodbye. Although David never participated in any junior ROTC program, a cadre of Marine Junior ROTC cadets from United South High School joined Johnson High School's Navy Junior ROTC to form a joint color guard. Students, teachers, and district administrators were assembled to take part in giving David Espinoza and his family the recognition and honor they deserved. United ISD Superintendent David Gonzalez spoke about the solemnness of this day.
This is not a happy day, but it is a day to remember someone that did something so heroic for the United States of America as a Marine. You know, the incident took his life, but he wanted to serve as a Marine, and that's what he did. So we're paying tribute to him, and we're celebrating the life that he had while he was here with us.
Junior ROTC students from United South High School and Johnson High School who served in the color guard for the ceremony gave their impressions of the example David Lee Espinoza set by placing service above self.
I think what he did was very honorable. Like, it's an honor to have one of our own have been over there.
And be grateful for everything you have and take opportunities and take the risk and be who you are and be proud in everything you do.
There's a lot of responsibility
and that sometimes you have to take risks to save other people and to always be proud of who you are and what you do.
Michael Garcia is not only a senior at Johnson High School and a cadet lieutenant in his school's Navy Junior ROTC, but he's also a private in the Texas Army National Guard.
To appreciate everything you have around you, especially those who sacrifice their time and unfortunately those who sacrifice their lives. To appreciate family members, everything in general around you.
The motorcade went on to the City of Laredo Cemetery, where David Lee Espinoza was laid to rest with full military honors. Citizens from all over the community joined Lance Corporal Espinoza's family to comfort them in their grief and express their respect and gratitude for his most selfless service and sacrifice. Retired Navy Lieutenant Andrew Rodriguez is the senior junior ROTC instructor at Johnson High School. He explained why a combat casualty so close to home is so much more impressionable for those left to remember.
It brings a community together, and actually, what is it to be an American U.S. citizen? The sacrifices that we do have to endure for the freedoms that we do have. Unfortunately, a lot of people, they're not accustomed to that, and it's usually because it's somewhere else, not here. Now it is here, and it brings another meaning to what sacrifice is on the parent side and on the individual side.
The following day, September 14th, 2021, Texas Senator Ted Cruz honored Lance Corporal David Lee Espinoza on the floor of the United States Senate in Washington, D.C.
We can console ourselves with the fact that David died doing what he wanted to do with the people he wanted to do it with. He was a patriot who had a passion for service, and our nation can never repay the debt that we owe to David and to his family for giving what President Lincoln hailed as the last full measure of devotion.
It was not surprising in any way to me that David was among the fallen, because David wanted to serve his country. He wanted to do his duty. And he did. He's a hero.
I think Lance Corporal David Espinoza did what he wanted to do in his life. So he obtained his objective. Regardless of the outcome, he did obtain his objective, and that says a lot about his character and what he lived for and what he stood for.
David Lee is watching upon us right now, and I do want him and his family to know that we're extremely proud of him and eternally grateful for his service and for his sacrifice. And he will always be in our hearts and minds here at Lyndon B. Johnson High School.
We will remember David for the rest of our lives as an American hero. We will remember the values that he stood for: family, respect, dedication, brotherhood, and our countries.
I wholeheartly believe that that David passed doing what he wanted to do. He wanted to serve. He wanted to be a beacon of light, a beacon of hope for places that maybe that beacon doesn't exist.
A question remains when a service member falls in battle. How can we ever repay the sacrifice they made for our safety and liberty, their brothers and sisters in arms, and those oppressed for whom they stood to defend? Best we can do to honor them is to be the very best that we can be, to do the very best that we can do, and to serve our communities, our state, our nation, and one another, just like David Lee Espinoza and those who died with him and before him, who sacrificed their lives so that others may live in freedom and in peace. For United Independent School District, I'm Jose Sanchez.